Hello.
Hello.
Wearing snapback on his head, sleeveless shirts enable him to show his black and gray tattoos on his both arms. These may look aggressive, but when I look at his face, I can see a soft smile. So, no worries. His name is Andy October.
My name is Andy October. I am a professional tattoo artist based out of Iowa City, originally from New York City.
How long have you been doing this job?
I started my apprenticeship when I was 16 years old. I am 27 now, so 11 years pretty much. I'd say that I just started taking my artwork very seriously over the course of the last 5 years.
He's a big fan and expert of black and gray and realism works.
So is there any specialized or concentration area or like style of tattooing, like of your tattooing?
Yeah, absolutely.
As a job.
I like to do black and gray work. Not a big fan of like working with color. Anything that's realistic or hyper-realistic I like to do. Things such as portraits and stuff like that. So that's what my clients usually come to me for, is mostly black and gray stuff and things along the lines of realism or anything dark art. A lot of things that look very dark, sexual, demonic, evil, things like that.
Oh, so dark and gray tattoo means some kinds of like.
Black and gray tattoos is pretty much tattoos done with black ink and additional diluted black ink in order to make different shades of gray. It doesn't use any color, so I will use basically black, some diluted black, and I will sometimes use white in my work as well.
Okay.
I mean, black is pretty much a very common color that's used, a very common pigment that's used in a lot of tattooing. I love solid black work. For example, my arm here is just solid black. That's something that I did on my own. Another example of black and gray work that I've done on myself would be on my ribs here. This is a piece that has no color. There's solid black in certain areas, and then everything that's lighter gray is diluted black. Okay? I obviously didn't get to the horns or anything yet. This is a cover-up I'm working on, but this gives you an idea of what a black and gray piece would look like as opposed to solid black.
Okay. So is there a specific reason you prefer black and gray tattoo rather than colored?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I've always loved black and gray. Even before I started tattooing, I loved working with pencil and charcoal. I was never a fan of crayon, I was never a fan of a color pencil. I worked with it, of course, because I had to at a certain time, but now I've progressed enough in my career that I could exclusively do, the style that I enjoy doing. I just love the way that it looks. I think it's a classical look. And when it comes to tattoos, I think that if it's done right, with the right contrast, it ages really good too. So as it ages classical and evenly throughout, the time that goes by.
But you also do the color tattoo.
I used to. I do some color now, but this is the last year that I'm doing color. So right now I'm pretty much finishing any color projects that I have already on my clients. And I'm probably doing some small stuff here and there that I find that's really fun. But I'm not really doing color very much longer. And right now I'm doing it very minimally. Yeah.
Interesting.
Most of his clients usually come to him to experience his expertise field.
How many percentage of your customers have black and gray? Like, I want to have like data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you just barely
Like a ballpark figure?
yes,
Yeah,
like
estimate.
like for example, 20% of my customers have received this kind of tattoo. Like, can you provide that?
Yeah, so every year I think it changes. Last year I would say that 60 to 70% of my work was black and gray realism. And then maybe 30 to 40% would have been color tattoos. Now we're coming into 2018, and so far in the year, and what I'm doing for the rest of the year, I'd say about 90 to 95% of the work that I'll be doing is black and gray realism, and then the rest will either be very, very minimal color work, or it will be small, simplistic, dark black tattoos.
And there's a lot of different, they're pretty good too,
So this is kind of might be a same question. What kind of tattoo is popular among your customers?
I mean, anything realism, like black and gray. That's a really hard question because I try to do everything very differently. I don't try to repeat the same tattoos over and over again. Sometimes with very small, simple tattoos, a lot of things are common. You know, you'll have the infinity symbols that a lot of people get, or a lot of like crosses or words. That's more of the common stuff, but when it comes to like the really artistic black and gray things, I try not to do the same thing over and over again. So it's usually just some form of black and gray realism. It's not ever really like one specific tattoo I'm doing over and over again.
What kind of tattoo do you think is most popular in Iowa City? Your personal opinion. I'm asking for your personal opinion.
I'd say a lot of the smaller ones, the more common tattoos done in Iowa City, because Iowa City is a very big college town. A lot of people come in and get their first tattoo from us. So when they come in, they're usually picking something that they find online, like in Pinterest or something. It's usually something small and that's done a lot, like a little cross, or like I said, maybe some like Roman numerals or an infinity symbol, maybe some like doves. That's usually those kinds of tattoos are the ones that are getting done over and over.
He's a hard worker that always looks upper level and also a good communicator.
What is special about your tattoo? Your tattoo and your tattoo work? What's
That's a lot of
special
pressure. I wouldn't say my work is special. I'd say that I do decent quality work that I'm always striving for every day to do better. I think that what sets me apart from other people, other artists, is that when I focus on my black and gray work, I really focus on the hyper detail of it. If I'm doing a face or if I'm doing hands, I try to get every wrinkle, every hair follicle. So I try to really have like a phenomenal amount of detail where it looks super real. You know, I go for the wow factor. So a lot of times my clients will come to me and let's say they want something small, they want an eye, you know, like on my portfolio there's this big eye I did. Well, a guy wanted a triangle with a little eye in it. He trusted me to let me do my thing, and instead of putting a little eye in there, I was able to blow it up really big. I can add all the detail in there, all the veins in the eyes and the shades. So I go for super detail when I work, and I think that's what sets me apart from a lot of other artists. Other artists that you mean they're really good at what they do. Everybody has a specific thing that they do best, and I feel like, in my opinion, I really try to go for detail as best that I can.
And then, what's your ultimate goal as a tattoo artist?
I mean, I feel like that's a hard question to answer. My goal, of course, as an artist is always continue to grow. It's to continue to do better work on people and make people happier, you know, and happier and happier and happier the better work that I can do for them. A lot of ways I feel like I've, you know, accomplished many things over the last decade or so that I've been tattooing. For example, I don't feel like I work a day in my life. I tell this to everybody. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. I come here, I don't work, and I hang out with great people. I tattoo. I do what I love to do. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I lost the question there.
No, it was a great answer.
Perhaps he was born to be a tattoo artist.
Was there any moment that you regret that you became a tattoo artist?
No, no,
Not at all.
I never regret becoming a tattoo artist. I mean, it was definitely hard at some times, but I knew at a young age, you know, that what I was going to be doing, and I got my first tattoo when I was 14. You know, so I started looking for an apprenticeship the very next day. You know, so I immediately knew what I wanted to do. So it's been something that I've been pursuing since the minute I got my first tattoo. Yeah.
Then what do you think is the most difficult part that you experienced or you think as a tattoo artist?
Experience in my career, you mean?
Yes.
You gotta stay motivated. I think that's a really big thing that a lot of us artists deal with. You know, sometimes you'll have a really good year, and sometimes you'll have a slower year, and loss of motivation, you know, happens. It comes and it goes. It's pretty much normal. But getting through that is what is going to make or break you. You know what I mean? A lot of artists sometimes will let themselves get beat down, then you know they don't really excel. Some artists, you know, will hit that bump in the road, and you know they'll kind of plateau for a little bit. But I think that that's normal. But that's one of the things that we mostly deal with that's a little bit difficult.
I think that's all of my question. Do you want to add something in your interview, or was there anything that I missed? You can talk about it right now.
No, I'd say that's it. I mean, if you guys want to look at any of my work, it's pretty simple. You can visit my website, andyoctoberart.com, and all of my work is on there, and you can see all the kind of realism in black and gray that I do. I'd love to tattoo you guys. Yeah, thank you.